Blessings, divine light beings. It's Luna Light here. And so I get a lot of questions, and I want to talk a little bit about what the new earth or the highest vibrational frequency timeline or 5D, what we're kind of moving into, because I get a lot of questions around this. So this is what I see, this is what I know, this is what I have channeled. Okay, so each person may see or channel or know something different to somebody else, and there is no right or wrong, it just is. So let's get started. One of the questions I get a lot is, when is this coming? And I have some really good news for you. That'd be now. So our soul piece decided to be here at this time to assist in many different ways to bring light to earth so we can shift into the higher vibrational frequencies. A lot of people ask me, what does this look like? And I tell them it's not so much what it looks like, this is what it feels like. I like to call it our highest vibrational timeline. Okay, and so there's different versions of this, and we may shift up and down and up and down. So in New Earth, we intentionally and consciously choose to step into this vibration. Okay, it's not something that's forced upon us. This is something that our soul has chosen for us, and it's something that we choose to do. It can be challenging sometimes. It's not all rainbows and lollipops. It can be challenging. This takes for us to know ourselves so intimately. And this is what it requires us to do. So in our own time, we've probably noticed a lot of things in life. People, experiences, situations have dissipated, removed themselves, or fallen away. Some with the big bang kick and scream, and others just slowly faded out. Why this is important is because we are creating space for ourselves to step into our highest frequency and timeline. This doesn't mean that the people or the situations or things that have left us are not going to also step into that. That's just creating space for us to make our own conscious, intentional choice. So it leaves space for everyone to choose that. Some souls have chosen not to. Some have chosen just to pave the way, and others have just gone, this is my experience and this is going to continuously be my experience. So these souls are not going to drop off the face of the earth that haven't chosen to step into the highest vibrational timeline. They choose to stick into whatever timeline they want. And if that is old world, that is where they stay. This does not mean we cannot communicate with them. This just means that it's a very different experience. This is in our experience and what we feel, what we know, what we see. What happens to us personally is different. So you might notice in a lot of your relationships or friendships, for instance, that people are still very stuck in this old world of thinking. They think that's the only way it's going to be. It's never going to change. And that's okay. We need to find the space to allow that to be their reality. Just because we choose a different one does not mean that we don't have access to each other. It just means that sometimes we live from a very different perspective. So this comes down to our perspective on things. So you may have noticed lots of things have been leaving your life in the last few years. This has not necessarily been an easy journey. And some of us feel like we've been in the 5D, out of the 5D, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, right? And that's okay too. That's a normal experience. So what I've channeled and what I see and what I know is that each time we step into the higher vibration, we're shown something about our lives in that we need to allow or accept, to either let go or just to allow it to be as it is, or accept it for what it is. This is called introspection. Some people call that shadow work. I call it duality. So on Earth, our souls chose to come here to find duality and to find acceptance with duality. So when I talk about our highest vibration, frequency and timeline, I'm not talking that we don't have those lower frequencies or vibrations. We've actually come to alignment within them and acceptance of them. Because human Earth has decided for duality. We think about duality, that is higher frequencies, lower frequencies, but it's still an experience, and we just need to find a way to connect those. And the word that always comes to me with this is acceptance. And from being a positive psychotherapist and hypnotherapist for the last decade, and for lecturing other beautiful practitioners in emerging into this realm, and working with so many people on the mental aspect, but also to the spiritual aspect for the last 5 or 6 years or so as an Ascension Guide, I've really noticed it comes down to acceptance. Acceptance of what we did, acceptance of what we do, and acceptance of who we are. And it's allowing that acceptance and finding that balance and that alignment within that. It's not ridding ourselves of that. It's just accepting that it was there. Finding forgiveness in our hearts for ourselves and for others, because we were only living what we thought was the right thing to do. And even if someone came at you with malice, or you perceived it that way, holding on to that emotion, that those thoughts, that energy, is not finding the acceptance and the allowance of what it was. So this sometimes is not an easy journey. Sometimes you feel like you're going up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down, but eventually you get to a point where you feel predominantly in a line with the highest vibration and timeline. And that's a beautiful place to be. And it's okay to jump backwards and forwards until we find that. And even though we've found that, I still feel that we're going to have to go back sometimes to be shown what it is. It's just we spend less time there because we already know the formula, right? We already got the light codes. We know how to channel what it is we need and have the access to that really easily. So it can be a really quick shift. It doesn't have to be as long and drawn out as what it used to be. So the differences now between New Earth and Old Earth. Old Earth, people weren't overly accepting. It was very individualistic. It was us versus them. And not for all of this, but that's generally the theme. It was greed. It was power play. It was politics. It was religion. It was all the things that put a ceiling effect on other humans. It was taking advantage of others. And why we may not have all participated in this, it was a belief system that we believed in that time. Okay, so enough talk about the past. Let's talk about what the new world feels like. Because it's not what it looks like. It's going to look different to each of us, but it's what it feels like. My highest vibrational timeline feels like to me is freedom, is joy, is everything is equal. We are in the collective divine mind and heart and energy. It's a collective. You put out energy, frequency, healing, whatever that might be. It sits in this beautiful big space and it transmutes. So it doesn't matter what you put into that, as long as it's at a high frequency, right? When you desire something or require something, you can go into that space and you can say, wow, I'm feeling really low in energy today. I really need a big energy boost. Can I please tap into this? And so it's just there for you. It's just everything we need is there for us. There are such beautiful souls there. There are beautiful divine light beings there. There are our higher selves are there. Our soul pieces are there. And we can do such amazing things with this energy. And it's going to look different for all of us in how we bring that into our life and into our world and into our timeline. And that's our choice, because there's free will there as well. As there's free will here, there's free will there. The difference is we go on the frequency of how we feel once we've found the alignment in particular things. We can download light codes, we can download activations, we can really do whatever we like there, as long as it's for everyone's highest and greatest good frequency and vibration. So it's this magical place which I guide people how to get there, the journey on the way of how to find acceptance and to release and to shed and to allow for things to leave our life to create space. Another thing I'd like to talk about, which I get asked a lot, is how do we actually then manifest that into the physical, into where we are in the present, where we are right now. That sometimes takes a bit of shifting of energy. So if we think of ourselves, we've got the physical, we're a physical being, we've got our emotional body, we've got our mental body, and then we've got our spiritual or etheric body or space. So when we're working in the higher vibrational timelines, we need to get everything on board, right? And for most of us, it's always going to be one or two different things that doesn't quite find that alignment. So it's looking at ourselves from each perspective and going, where does this align? Where have I found allowance and acceptance, and where have I not? And just working on that. So I always say we're like an onion. And as we shed our outer layers, the layers we have to shed get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So it's, I don't know if I would use the word easier, but it is quicker maybe, or we've already learned how to do this for ourselves and what works for us. And sometimes it's the same way, other times it's different ways. And we can utilize any modality or divine wisdom we need for that. So when we're manifesting in this space and bringing this through, once we've found the alignment, then it will all click and it will be there, and we'll be able to feel the opportunities. So manifesting in the new world or the highest timeline vibration goes from what we feel. So if you were trying to call in your true soul love, it's not what they look like, it's not what they possess, it is what they feel like to you. So that could be, my true soul love feels like home. My true soul love is so thoughtful. And it's the small things my true soul love makes me feel so loved with. My true soul love makes me laugh every single day. My true soul love makes me feel safe and secure in sharing my most vulnerable, sensitive sides. My true soul love just gets me. My true soul love makes me feel like I can do anything in the world, because they empower me to know that I can do this. My true soul love supports me when I fall down and I cry and I just need someone to love me. My true soul love challenges me to be the best authentic version of myself with so much unconditional love and support. Okay, so you get what I mean, right? It's how they make you feel. It's not that they have dark hair or blonde hair or blue eyes or brown eyes, or they have millions of dollars, or they're whatever. That's old world manifesting. New world manifesting feels like this. We're trying to manifest our best life and freedom. Freedom feels like to me that I can wake up and do whatever I need to or feel like I want to do for the day. Freedom to me, true freedom to me, feels like I can see my family whenever I want, my friends, my loved ones whenever I want. True freedom to me feels like I can have a rest day or a rest month, and it doesn't matter because I have true freedom. True freedom feels like to me that all my needs are always met, above and beyond my expectations. True freedom feels like to me that I'm safe to speak my voice, my opinions, my show and shine my authentic self. True freedom to me means I get to live my life on my terms. True freedom feels like to me I get to be joyful and grateful each and every day. Once again, you get what I mean, right? Okay, so that's how we kind of manifest and ground that. So when we think about grounding that, we bring that in through, check all our alignments are there. We may say mantras, we may journal that, we may write goals, we may sing that into existence, however it works for us. We may have crystals or nature to support us with that, our spiritual guidance team to support us with that. It doesn't really matter however it works for you, but we go with our feeling. And then we notice, so we're open to creating space, and we notice when these opportunities come because we can feel them coming, right? And then we just have to get our brain in line with our heart to say yes when it feels right. And if your beautiful, brilliant brain is like mine and likes to overanalyze everything, another way we can do is to go, thank you for being concerned. I feel safe. This feels really good for me. I'm feeling really safe and I trust and I feel yummy and in my flow and things are great. So you beautiful, brilliant brain, follow your heart, because your heart wants this and knows it's for your greatest and highest good. Then we're programming ourselves consciously and subconsciously through our feelings, we feel safe, on how to manifest that, how to ground that. So it's so nice to live way out in the universe and different star nations and with all the energy. So how do we live in both worlds in harmony? One way we can live in both worlds in harmony that I've been shown is to connect into earth, into ground each and every day, but also have the open connections to the universe, to different star nations, your higher self. So it's like this flow of energy and resources, and that's really where we get into the flow of things. Just by being in the flow and being connected, we help activate other beings on earth that want to step into the highest frequency and timelines as well. Each person has an activation story, and if you look at my blog, you'll find mine. But it's different for each person. But just by being authentically who we are and letting our light shine, regardless if we're light warriors, we're healers, we're empaths, we're aliens, we talk about all the different things we channel like I do. If you're a guide, you're a teacher, you are whatever it is that you are, that you came here to do, that just activates other people. And we need to not compare ourselves to others. We are all on this journey if we chose to be, and that can look different for each and every one of us. So when we are guiding and activating people, it's important for us to remember that, and no comparison happens there. It's just that person's soul peace journey is what happens. Another really cool thing that happens when we activate all this is we get to heal and assist our other soul pieces on Earth, okay, in different timelines. So I'm going to explain a little bit about how I channeled this and what this looks like as well. So how I see this is our soul originated somewhere. It was formed somewhere with energy. And that could be on Earth, that could have been other star nations. Just wherever you originate from, right? Your soul then goes, yeah, I'm having a great life here, but I want to evolve, I want to shift, I want to ascend, right? And so there is different vibrational star nations of all different vibrations and all different experiences. One thing I can tell you, if you are watching this video, your soul probably originated somewhere else other than Earth. And that is okay. And if it did originate on Earth, wow, thank you for joining us, because you have so much knowledge about how to raise the vibration of Earth in this timeline. So please feel free to share any wisdom I've missed out on. Because my soul originated from a different star nation. So it's so fun to journey there, which is also something that as an Ascension Guide, I can guide you with. Through trance, really easy, so cool. You can bring so much knowledge back from there. And we also have healing pods in our star nation, so we can go and heal and get upgrades and DNA activations, light code, like it's really cool. Anyway, I digress, excuse me. So our soul, where it originates from, is always there. It never goes anywhere. But what it does is it sends out pieces of our main soul. Sorry, my video just cut out. So what our soul does is it comes down in different pieces and spreads out. So it may go to other star nations. It might go to, some of it came to Earth. It goes to different places, but it's always able to communicate with our original soul, our main mother soul, if you would like to call it, whatever you want to call that. So what I always see is our main soul, and we have all these other soul pieces and connections. So in order to come to Earth and to learn, yes, we have access to our higher self and our connection to our OG soul, but each soul piece chooses a different adventure. Does anyone remember those choose your own adventure books? Maybe I'm old. Anyway, so it chooses a different pathway or a different experience. There is no good, there is no bad, there just is. And this is what is really important with this. It is not for us to judge if it was a good life, a bad life, or whatever life. It just was. It just is. So time is a human construct. Time is something that we operate on Earth in this timeline. But what I want you to remember is that our original soul piece is still operating right now. And you know how we call them past lives? Well, they're actually coexisting lives. Okay, so how this was shown to me is that we have our OG soul, and then other soul pieces go off into other star nations, and we have a whole heap of soul pieces that came to Earth. So we could have different experiences on different timelines. So I see it like a spiral, and they're all happening generally at about the same time. Some of our soul pieces are in what we perceive as ancient Egypt or Atlantis, or in the future, in New Earth already. But each soul piece, when it's split up, chose a different timeline and a different experience. What the really cool thing is about this timeline is that our soul can travel through other timelines and send healing to those soul pieces. And we already had contracts with ourselves for this. Our spirit guides and guidance team were already allocated to us. Our soul family and connections in this soul piece life, we already pre-organized. So people come in and out of our lives for a reason. But what I want to remind you is that we have free will and choice in how that looks. So if we are through a life or partway through a life and we choose, we don't want this experience anymore, we want it to change, we have the ability to do that. We just need to find the alignment of what that is. We choose. Our soul and higher self guides us. We choose. Sometimes that is so much responsibility, but we choose. If we choose to experience something different, that's okay, we can do that. If we choose to bypass a whole heap of stuff, that's okay, we do that too. So the really cool thing is we can jump in between timelines and experiences, and we can heal different aspects of our soul's experiences. But it means we also have access to unlimited resources, which is why this soul piece that I'm talking to right now, to you, has access to everything. So how I see this is, I see it like peacock feathers, but I guess you could call that like also like a tree, but I see it as peacock feathers. And so each one of my soul pieces is the eye of the peacock feather. And on my left side is my divine feminine side, and my right side is my divine masculine side. And I can go into each one of those soul pieces and send healing or resources or guidance. Just as I can go into the future of my soul pieces and also plant beautiful gifts and resources there for myself as well. This is free will. This is something that soul piece of ours has also agreed to. This can sometimes be on a subconscious or a higher self kind of soul level that maybe we're not consciously aware of. Well, what I'm trying to tell you is we have access to all of this. So some people call this the Akashic Records. I just call this access to all of my soul and all of my experiences. And it's so empowering. And I've been shown that when we start to access the higher timelines, this is the ability that we're gifted. So we can go in and start to learn from different things. So what happens when a soul piece loses or is released from its physical body, aka we die? What I've seen is that soul piece in particular goes into a cocoon-like state where it reviews its life and the experiences and does some healing and processing there. It stays with that experience or the people or other souls, I feel, for quite some period of time. But our soul piece then has the ability to go back to the OG, to other soul pieces, and it communicates there. But it's like in this beautiful cocoon-like state. So because I have access to the spiritual realms, which is something also we can teach, everyone has access to that, this is what I'm shown. And it is so nice to be able to connect in to those realms, to be able to see different things. So for instance, I had a dream a little while ago that I was in a car accident and I died, but I wasn't driving, but it didn't like make sense to me, and it was very traumatic, and I went off the cliff and I died. And then I woke up with quite a fright, and then I went to the bathroom and I actually had blood in my mouth and spat out blood. And that's how I know I've astral traveled, is when it's like it's a full-bodied experience. And that was really distressing. But what I worked out later was, and this is why this is so important, that this soul piece now had made a choice to go with my other soul piece in that life that was going to die alone, and guide that soul piece into the spiritual realms so they were not alone, and there was no pain, and it was beautiful. So reunited that soul piece with my other soul pieces, but also with my soul family. And so all these insights are just spectacular in what we can do. So other people ask me, Luna, what else can we do in the high vibrational timelines? We can send healing to people, we can send light to people, activations, we can do whatever your heart desires, really, as long as it's for yours and everybody else's highest and greatest good and timeline frequency. So that is a snippet of the divine wisdom that I've been shown of what the new world or highest vibrational timeline or 5D Earth looks like. We also have access to other divine light beings, earth beings, aliens. We have access to everything. It's just learning how to access that in a safe and easy manner for you. And that looks different for all of us. So there's no one program that goes, this is what you need to do. It's very individualized, and it depends where you're already at and what works for you. So why I love being an Ascension Guide is that I can guide you through your processes of what it is that you desire and where it is you need to be and how you need to find alignment. So it's never ever the same for each and every person. Yes, I do have a program, but that is so you can learn to do these activations yourself, which is something we also do a lot of work and spend a lot of time on as well. But just remembering, we have access to everything we need. We have access to all the divine wisdom and all the resources, and it's a journey to get there. There's still so many aspects of my life that I am still working on as well, even though the majority of my reality, I guess, is in the higher vibrational timelines already. There is still those, there's still aspects of my life that don't have that alignment yet. That's okay, because I'm guiding you through you. I'm not guiding you personally, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But I love what I do, because my soul piece right here, right now, didn't choose an easy life. It didn't choose an easy experience, but it chose it so I understand what the old world feels like, how to find alignment and acceptance, and then how to shift into the highest vibrational timelines and how to assist others to do that as well. And I'm so grateful to get to do what I do. And I'm finally happy and content with being human and being on Earth. Most of my life I have struggled so much with finding alignment and being here, and I never understood why, and why I had to go through such hard and heartbreaking things. But now I know why. Now I can help people bring understanding and hope into their worlds and their lives, and to get to love and know and accept your body, your existence, being earth being. I love that. I love that for me, and I love that for everybody else as well. So hopefully this cleared up a little bit about when I go into my activation videos and my reading videos, and a little bit on the background of knowledge that I have acquired. There is still so much more I haven't spoke about, but that will all come in time. So if you got something out of this video, please connect with it some way. Like it, share it, comment, because the more people that do that, and that doesn't cost anything other than kindness, the more people that do that, one, you're tapping into the algorithm, which means you are seeing more content like this from other people as well as myself, but also it helps me get my voice and my light out to those who need to hear it. And I feel like I struggle with that sometimes. I feel like I struggle to ask for assistance for people to please interact with this. This is the world that we live in, is a world of technology, a world of algorithms. Things are changing, but that's just kind of how it goes. So please, if you feel the call, connect in with me. And always check out my social platforms, because I share so much free content and healing activations, readings, whatever you kind of need to assist in the collective. But I'm also open to receiving from the collective, so I can continue to do what it is that I love doing and what it is I'm here for. So much love to you, divine light earth being. Cannot wait to create your highest vibration, timeline, and frequency with you. Hey,